Welcome to an action-packed Vanarama National League highlight show as the league celebrated its 40th anniversary. And what a weekend it's been. 37 goals to bring you. And we start with the league leaders, Solihull Moors, against rock-bottom side Ebbsfleet United, as Andy May reports.
Having lost every game this season, Ebbsfleet went in front at informed Solihull. James Ball provided for Miles Weston, who excellently found the net inside 10 minutes. Then with 10 to go until the break, Moors responded. Jamie Osborne on target from a free kick, he won. Into the final 10 in the second half, Tim Flower's side were able to confirm 4 victories in a row for the first time in a year via a Jack King own goal. 2-1 it finished.
It was one of those games that probably could have gone either way. Might have been a fair draw, but we ended up nicking it, which is probably a reflection of the form we're in, you know.
Going for a 4th win in 5, Woking went 1 up at Fylde. Despite getting a touch, James Montgomery was beaten by Dave Tarpey. Close to the interval, a Josh Casey free kick was headed in by Kane Ferdinand as the Cardinals doubled their lead. Fylde fought back 10 minutes into the second half. A perfect Nick Horton set piece, perfectly placed by Coasters captain Lewis Montrose, playing for the first time since January. But after Ryan Crosdale was sent off for the hosts, Woking increased the pressure. Jake Hyde made it 3-1 with 7 minutes to go. Moments later, Toby Edzer was down in the area. Penalty, said referee Thomas Parsons. Hyde, who was on as a sub, netted to complete a memorable victory for one of the division's promoted sides. There was a belting start at the Hive. Chesterfield went in front after only 2 minutes. Joseph Yarney setting up Mike Fondop-Talon. Then only a couple of minutes later, really good football from Barnet followed. Patient Jack Taylor was eventually able to fire past Shwan Jalal to make it 1-1. Not long at all after the restart, John Sheridan's side went ahead again, and on target once more, Fondop-Talon, who only signed for the Spireites on Thursday. As the Bees sought to remain unbeaten, Efren Jardel went down in the box past the hour mark, penalty given. Taking his time, frustrating Jalal, Simeon Akinola went low to level the clash at 2-2. Chesterfield did come close to taking all of the points at the end, but for a terrific double save from former England under-21 keeper Scott Loach. Hampshire had the division's quickest goal as Aldershot went ahead after only 47 seconds thanks to George Fowler. But towards the end, shots were forced to share the points as in the air, FC Halifax's defender Jerome Bingham-Williams made it 1-1.
Oh, what a start for Solihull Moors. 4 straight wins. They are top of the league, Grant, but they got a little bit fortunate with the winner today, didn't they?
Yeah, they're what you dream of them. Backs to the wall, you're trying to be up there, keep that run going, and then obviously it's a comical, wasn't it? I don't think any talking going on there, and they started really well, Solihull, and continue the form from last year.
Yeah, Jack King with the own goal to give them the win, but being so close, top feed bottom, shows just how crazy this league is, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's it. That's just, like I said, you can't judge this league. Anyone can beat anyone on the day, and that's what we find. And I said, no matter where you go, you've got to work hard, and you need them little bit of breaks and a little bit of luck.
And you can watch Solihull on BT Sport over the bank holiday weekend as well. A word on Chesterfield. You did tip them for promotion at the start of the season, yet to get a win. What have you made of their start?
I think they'd be happy that they're still scoring goals. They're still in the games. They're just not getting the 3 points. I think, look, I know what this league's like. It's a long time. You've got to bed in. They've signed a few players, and it would be disappointing, but they'll be happy to get a point. Barnet aren't an easy side, so, and you see there 2 fantastic save for them, for the goalkeeper to deny them.
Bit of a disastrous day for Fylde, really, wasn't it? One of this early season favourites as well. They were winning 2-1, had a man sent off, and then conceded 2 in the last 7 minutes.
Well, that's it. It's very rare that Fylde lose at home as it is, and to go. But to be fair to Woking, they've came up. They went down. Obviously, that one season they came bounced back up, and they've started really, really well to get them up to second.
Yeah, absolutely, really good start for them, isn't it? And Aldershot's opening goal, the fastest this season, 47 seconds for George Fowler. Absolutely flew out the blocks.
Yeah, 47. What's what you want? We talked about it, about how early you want to get a goal, and that's absolutely. I think it's 47 seconds. What more do you want, to be honest with you? Just a shame they didn't hold on to it for the win.
Absolutely. Well, the league may have celebrated turning 40 today, but Dover boss Andy Hessenthaler was hoping for 3 points on his birthday today. Unfortunately, there was no icing on the cake, as Seb Hutchison reports.
Following back-to-back wins, Dover hosted newly promoted Torquay, but after a goalless first half, Asa Hall scored direct from a corner for his first goal since February. And the visitors' lead was doubled just 2 minutes later when Jake Andrew crossed for Jamie Reid to net his 19th goal of 2019. Dover were given a lifeline with just 2 minutes left. Alfie Pavey's header handled on the line by Hall, and the goal's captain shown a red card for his troubles. But although Ini Effiong converted the spot kick, it wouldn't be enough to deny Torquay a first away win of the season. Undefeated Bromley made the long trip to Hartlepool and found themselves 1-0 up inside 10 minutes. Michael Cheek finishing Luke Coulson's through pass. However, the lead lasted only 4 minutes as pinball in the penalty area preceded Gavin Holohan tucking away an equaliser. The visitors were back in front just before the half hour. From Coulson's corner, Cheek would feed Rico Hackett-Fairchild for his first of the season. There would be no doubt about the best goal of a busy first half. Gus Mathuta with an excellent strike past Mark Cousins and his first for Hartlepool. But Neil Smith's men weren't to be denied. In the 75th minute, Hackett-Fairchild bagged his second and Bromley's winner to keep pace with the league's early leaders. Winless Chorley travelled to a Maidenhead side without a victory at York Road this season. The home side with the game's first goal, 2-2 for Josh Kelly. But the visitors levelled just a minute later. Elliot Newby did provide the assist for Marcus Carver to score his first goal of the campaign. That would be as good as it would get for Chorley. Matthew Challoner holding on to Bernard Mensah, and the referee pointed to the spot. Jake Cassidy stepped up to reclaim the Magpies' lead before half-time. It took until the first minute of second half added time for the game to be put to bed. A hint of handball in the build-up, but no doubt about Danny Whitehall's diving header. That was his first goal for the club, but there was still time for him to race away to add his second and Maidenhead's fourth, as Chorley's miserable start to the season continues.
Well, Bromley's still unbeaten. 37 of their fans made the 464-mile round trip to Hartlepool today, but that's dedication for you, and they were rewarded, weren't they?
That's what you want. That's where you want to go. If you're going to travel all that time, you want to be rewarded with it. And good, just a little bit of luck here, just up there. It kind of all dropped him But it's a tough place to go, Hartlepool, and that's a big 3 points, especially this time of the year, to travel all the way up there and get the 3 points and put them in a great position to start the season.
Have you been impressed by their recruitment in the summer, Bromley?
Yeah, I have. I think they've realised where they need to strengthen last year, and they've brought the right players in. I think the one criticism was last year they had a bit of they weren't really at it all the time. And I think this year they really came out flying out the traps, and hopefully it'll keep them in the impetus to keep going for the season.
Dorset started well, but came undone today at Torquay.
Yeah, Torquay, it's another one of them. Torquay's came up and they just kind of took it in the stride, and I think it's always a tough place to go. But to be fair, Dover will be quite happy. They won in the week, and obviously they didn't get the result today, but they've started off really, really well.
Are you concerned about Chorley still without a win and 10 goals conceded in the last 2 games?
That's it. That's the big crux in there. I seen on Tuesday the 6-1, and then you're rolling today thinking you can't get it again, and then they end up getting 4-1. The goals are really, really soft that they conceded today, and they need to tighten up. They need to do something because they can't keep conceding goals like that.
Because they largely kept faith with the squad from last season, didn't they? Perhaps needed to strengthen a bit more.
Well, if they could, they would have thought. But it's a tough league when it's a step up from the one below to come into this one. So, and they've kept the faith, they kept the boys in there. But sometimes you've got to invest, and I think they've got to tighten up the defence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll look back on our match here at Holker Street as Yeovil look for back-to-back wins for the first time this season against Barrow. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back to the National League Highlight Show. 4 more games to bring you now, starting here at Holker Street, where Barrow took on Yeovil, and your commentators for this one, Adam Virgo and Adam Summerton.
That's well won back by Hardcastle. He's got 3 players beyond him here, and there's plenty of movement too. And the shot was placed and not too far wide. Good play by Barrow, the shot from John Rooney.
I think Yeovil need to be better on the counter-attack within that final ball, with the final ball into the final third.
Quickly on the turn, brilliant finish. That's a proper centre-forwards goal from a man in form, Scott Quigley. 3 goals in as many games, and it's the perfect start to the second half for Barrow.
Just allows the throw to go in towards him. Carl Dickinson gets far too tight and allows the spin on him. You get too tight there, this is what happens. He just lets the ball roll across him, and it's a very, very easy finish. It's a simple goal for Yeovil to give away.
Here's Quigley. Barry's ball in, and Dyson's there, the pullback's good! But it's off target from Angus, great chance to make it 2.
Massive chance there from Angus, but I have to say that John Rooney, anticipation to win this second ball, just there on the edge of the 18-yard box in front of Matt Worthington. That really starts this counter-attack really well for Barrow. It's slightly behind Angus when he got that ball towards him.
Dyson. Nice feet from Dyson. And still he has it. It's a great run, and Quigley's in the middle and couldn't quite apply the touch, but that was dazzling from Dyson.
Brilliant individual brilliance there from Ollie Dyson. He should have just been a little bit more on his toes. That's the only ball that Dyson could have played.
Crowd wanting that final whistle. And they get it. Barrow take the points. A big victory at just the right time for Ian Everett's team. It finishes Barrow 1, Yeovil 0.
Yeah, I think we were disappointed, especially with our front 3 first half. I thought they could have done more, chased more lost causes, being harder to play against. There was a few crosswords said, not between me and the players really, between ourselves, because they've got high standards. And Scott, straight after half-time, manages to get aggressive, turn his man in the box, and it was a great finish. In second half, I thought we deserved it. I thought we missed some good opportunities, but thoroughly deserved the win in the end.
What
today did with the injuries we've had is give people an opportunity to play that haven't, and for me to see them. I've not seen all of them competitively yet, and we need to just make sure we keep working within and trying to recruit as best we can on the outside. And it's going to be an important month. I've always said August is going to be a learning month. It's going to be a month of recruitment, and I think we have to always go back to what the blueprint is and the DNA is, and work objectively. I don't think today is a huge travesty. I really appreciate the effort by the supporters to come this far to support, especially those poor devils that broke down on the motorway. And I'm really disappointed we couldn't give them a little bit more of entertainment for them to take them all the way back home.
Well, after a poor first half here in Cumbria, some strong words were dished out in the Barrow dressing room at half-time. Lots of finger-pointing in there, but their manager, Ian Evatt, certainly got the desired response, didn't he, Grant?
Yeah, that's what you want. As I said, this is what sometimes in dressing rooms you have to do. The manager didn't have to say anything. I think the players knew from the first half that they just weren't at it. They had one chance with the John Rooney, and this is what they came out. Great turn, great forward play. This defenders will be disappointed with that, but they got off to the start that you want, really, and it's always the way, isn't it? The man who's arguing and shouting and screaming gets the goal to kind of keep everyone quiet a little bit. And they'll just better the second half, Barrow. They didn't really get, like Ian said there, they weren't really at it first half, and he felt the forwards weren't really doing it, and I think that's why the defenders are having a pop.
He talked a lot about their soft centre, the way they were conceding soft goals in the lead up to this game, so you'll be really happy with that clean sheet, won't he?
Yeah, that he said beforehand that's what he wanted. He wanted to tighten up. He needs to stop giving silly goals away and be a bit more clever, and I thought there was definitely that today.
And what did you think of Yeovil's performance today?
They just looked at a team that's still kind of finding the feet a little bit. As I said, they've had a good start to the season, but they looked a little bit disjointed. They weren't really at it, but I think they'll take positives out little bits in the game that were better, but I think for them they're just going to keep learning.
Do you expect Barrow to now kick on from here? Because Ian Evatt did a good job in his first season last season. They finished 11, but they made a poor start to this one. Will that win give them the boost they need to kick on now?
I think so. Give them the boost. It's always great to get a win, especially at home, and the fans are always here to see that and get behind you. So now they can go into Chesterfield game with confidence.
OK, well, 3 more games to bring you now, all from sides who've been involved in the playoffs in recent years, but have started their seasons pretty poorly. We'll bring you the roundup now.
An action-packed first half in East London. It took just 7 minutes for Harrogate to open the scoring. An own goal by Angelo Bolanta following on from a mess of a Joe Leasley corner. Just 7 minutes later, the hosts drawing level. Alex McQueen linking up with Cheeky Candy, who got the better of keeper James Belshaw. But a quick Harrogate reply moved the visitors back in front. Jack Muldoon helping the ball onto Brendan Kiernan for his first town goal. Then moments later, the Daggers drew level again. Mitch Brundle heading home from a corner. On the hour mark, Alex McQueen picked up his second assist, creating for Angelo Bolanta a gorgeous finish and redemption for that own goal at the start. And then to round off an eventful afternoon, Bolanta securing all 3 points for Peter Taylor's team and their first home win of the season.
Pleased to beat a very good team. I think Harrogate are one of the best teams in the division. Very, very good footballing team that are always going to test you because they create a lot of chances. So the pressure was on the players today. Thankfully, even after going a goal down and 2-1 down, we kept bouncing back, which is a fantastic sign.
A trip to Stockport County's Edgeley Park for Eastleigh just seconds before the hour mark. The hosts opened the scoring. Adam Thomas on the end of a superb Connor Di Miao pass. His third goal in as many games. Then, with just moments to go before full-time, Elliot Osborne let rip with an absolute stunner to double the hosts' lead and clinch victory in the first competitive fixture between the sides. Sutton made the short trip to Boreham Wood and were frustrated by the home side. Robert Milson's shot denied by keeper David Gregory. But their goal did come, the visitors taking all 3 points thanks to Tommy Wright's strike with his first touch of the game, extending their unbeaten run to 5 games so far this season.
Eastleigh now failed to score in 3 of their last 4 games. What's the problem with Eastleigh not scoring, Grant?
I think the big problem is they've lost the 2 creative players. Obviously, they both went, probably arguably one of the best forwards in the division last year, has now gone to Solihull. And they just haven't replaced them. And in this division, we know, and we always talk about it, that you need goal scorers, you need people who can put the ball in the back of net. And they've lost probably the best one. He's not been replaced.
Stockport, back-to-back wins. Think they're really starting to settle into life at this level?
Yeah, I think they were a little bit edgy. We seen them the other week, and they was a little bit edgy. But I think they found their feet. I know they think they know what they're going to be in the division. They know what to do, and the goal that they scored. Oh my goodness!
One of the goals of the day, if not the goal of the day in the National League.
He couldn't have hit this any better if he tried. He watched it perfectly over his shoulder, and you know when it's a good strike when the goalkeeper can't even move his feet quick enough to get there. So absolutely, that's probably goal of the season, I would have thought.
Loving that, absolutely. And Boreham Wood now haven't won at home since Boxing Day 2018. That's something that really needs to be addressed, isn't it?
It's an incredible stat when I heard that, and you think, so what is the problem? Why can't they do it? The one thing about there, which if you go down there and you roll up, you're always threat with a fantastic pitch, and a lot of teams do enjoy going there, but they need to rectify it, and that's one of the main reasons. And last season, they were getting beat too many times at home.
Good news for Sutton as well, one of 3 teams still unbeaten in the league, and for Tommy Wright as well, back in the goals after missing a lot of last season.
Yeah, well, Sutton are kind of one of them teams where they just always creep under the radar. No one ever really speaks about them, no one ever really puts them in, they're going to do this and that, and the teams that always be thereabouts.
What about Dagenham? Big win for them, 6 goals in that one against Harrogate, beating them 4-2.
Well, that was it. It was the goals that they've been missing. They haven't scored. I think it's 2 goals they've scored in the first 4 games, so they need to get the goals under the belt. And they're a funny side, Dagenham. One minute you expect them to do great things and they don't really do it, and all of a sudden they pull that out of the bag today.
What are the expectations for Dagenham this season, do you think?
I think it's the same for everyone. They're the kind of team that needs to be up there. They need to get back out of the division. They need to get in the league. So at the start of the season, like anyone, their ambitions would be to get promoted. And as I said, they had a bit of a sticky start, and hopefully they'll get the joy of the 4-2 and now bounce on to better things. And
if anyone's wondering why Notts County and Wrexham weren't in that round-up, it's because they didn't play today, because Forest played at home, so their game a day later than the rest of them. How do you see that one?
I said it'd be a big crowd then. I said there's a lot of things been said about Wrexham, a lot of things said about Notts County, so I see it to be a pretty and even game, to be fair.
Well, let's see how the table looks then after all of today's action. Solihull Moors top of the table after a fantastic start, still unbeaten after their win over Ebbsfleet, 13 points from 15. Newly promoted Woking move up to 2nd, and Bromley, as we said, still unbeaten, they're up to 3rd. Defeat for Fylde though sees them drop to 10th, and Yeovil down to 12th after their defeat today at Barrow. So it's Ebbsfleet still rooted to the foot of the table, yet to get a point. One of the pre-season favourites, Chesterfield, they're still without a win. And the victory today here for Barrow moves them up to 14th in the table. Well, just before we go, next Saturday, BT Sport pitches up in Norwich as the Canaries welcome Frank Lampard and his Chelsea team to Carrow Road. That's live from midday on BT Sport 1 HD and on Ultimate as well. And then later on from 5 o'clock on BT Sport 1, we venture from the east to the west of England, where Torquay United welcome Aldershot to Plainmoor in the National League. Well, thank you very much, Grant, for joining me today. You can start the long journey back from Holker Street. We've had all 4 seasons here today, haven't we? We've had sunshine, wind and heavy rain as well. But thanks for being here. It's been goals galore in the National League. 37 we've had today. Let's hope for more next week. But it is Solihull Moors sitting pretty at the top of the league. Bye for now.